Are you ready to do this, Matt?
Yes, sir. Punch it, Chewie.
Welcome, super friends, to the Fortress of Nerditude podcast, a safe place to talk about all things in nerd and pop culture. I'm Spencer Stapleton, and my co-pilot is Matt Shaw. We're two nerds that just refuse to grow up. Thank you for joining us. This is episode 198. We release every Thursday morning. You can find us on our website, fortofnerd.com. We have links to iTunes, Google Music, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, and everywhere podcasts are available. Stop by and relax a while. If you like what you're hearing, hit that subscribe button and get us automatically each and every week in your ear holes. Matt, episode 198, we are 2 away from 200.
Yeah, baby. Let's get it, man.
I love how you were just pointing to your ears, and I was like, is he trying to signal me that he can't hear me now?
No, man, ear holes, yo.
Ear holes, get it in there. What's going on? How are you?
Oh, man, I'm good. I am good. Life is good. It was, it always feels like an uneventful week, but it's always eventful. We've got,
Can I ask you the question that the super friends are dying to know?
Oh boy.
This has been on their mind for months and months and months.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Did you get Mulan on Disney Plus?
No, of course not. Of course I didn't. Come on.
All right,
I'm rich, but I'm not that rich. I say that, and I know that Peter's going to come back and say it doesn't cost more than you and your wife going to the movie, and he's right. However, I'm trying to send Disney a message that I think $20 is a good price, and $30 is too much. I don't know how that's going to work out for me because I'm just a simple man living out here in Texas. I don't know that Bob really cares what I think. But we'll find out. I did not get Mulan. If they're like, Mulan is yours forever and like it can be in your Vudu account or whatever, and you can stream it whenever you want, wherever you want, however you want, even if you quit Disney Plus, like maybe, but it'll be there in December. So I did not take the time.
Yep. Okay.
Did you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. However, I've got a list of things that we did do this week.
Ooh, do tell.
And it's a decent little list here. Many repeats, okay? Umbrella Academy, repeat. We're working our way through the second season. I think we have 4 episodes left. There's 10 episodes, so I think we have 4 episodes left of the second season. So that's going. We watched AP Bio. Of course, season 3 came out on Thursday.
Peacock?
Yeah, on Peacock.
Is that available for everyone on Peacock? Or
I think it's premium only. I think because it's a Peacock original, I think it's for premium. But I don't know. I have premium, so I'm not sure if it is or isn't and what I can and can't see and watch. But AP Bio Season 3 jumped on. So we're 5 episodes into that now. We watched 4 the first night, and then we took a break, and now we're going to continue chomping through. Funny as ever. And then, of course, I watched Supernatural, but that's just a given now. There's nothing to report on that other than I think I'm on season 12 or 13 now. I'm not sure which one.
Out of like what? Like 15 or 16
Yeah, man, I'm
seasons?
getting there. Out of 15.
Dude, you're tearing through
and
that.
I will talk about Supernatural again in Rebel Intelligence because there's a little nugget there that we'll speak about for a moment. And the only other thing I watched, like I've already watched a bunch of stuff. The only other thing I watched this week was The Mighty Ducks. And I watched Mighty Ducks because D2 and D3 just got put on Disney Plus, and I wanted to start from the beginning. Hockey has always been a very important part of my life. I grew up playing a lot of roller hockey, never was really that interested in pursuing it further to ice hockey, but I was all in on hockey. Always been a San Jose Sharks fan. Just hockey is important. I've watched the NHL playoffs like crazy this last week and the week prior, so I was feeling in the hockey mood, and I thought, who's better than Coach Gordon Bombay at helping me better understand my hockey skills? So I watched that.
Maybe Herb Brooks.
Herb Brooks Miracle would have been a good one to watch this week too.
Yeah.
I'll save that for next winter when the Olympics come around.
Or if they come around, Matt. If you never know.
That one's in like a year and 3 months, so I'm hopeful that we get that one.
Let's rabbit hole for a minute. I thought that too, but the more and more I started thinking about it, what if all these athletes that are trying to prepare for the games can't be preparing for the games now?
You're right. There's definitely going to be some hurdles, and we may not see athletes at their top. We might see a lot of injuries if it does happen, right? Because people aren't in shape.
Yeah, maybe
we don't know.
Maybe we get the Olympics, but it's not maybe the pristine top of the line Olympics we're used to.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I watched the first college football games. They were crap games that nobody cares about yesterday. Well, we're recording this one on Sunday. Usually it's on Monday, but I was watching them yesterday, and the amount of injuries and people just kind of falling down on the field was way more than normal. So these guys did not get in the fall practice that they're used to getting. And I think, the contact with the pads was really delayed because they wanted to keep people as, safe as possible. Yeah. So there were a lot more injuries, cramps especially, people just not prepared. So anyway, so I watched the Mighty Ducks, and it's as good as you remember from when you were younger. It's top tier, like Disney kind of movie. I love it. I'll watch it. I can't wait for D2. That's my favorite. It's so unrealistic, the plot to these movies. It's like, let's take the guy who's a drunk driver and let's make him do community service with children and teaching hockey, and let's drive the limo onto the lake the very first time we meet them. And it's like, this is impossible. But it's such a good story. I love it anyway. It's just fun. Good life lessons. It's amazing. So anyway, I'm a huge fan. And I don't know if we talked about this. Emmy has been doing dance classes as of last week. So she does ballet one week, then the next week's tap, and then the next week's ballet, and they go every other week. And this is the highlight of her entire life. Like, her week revolves around when is Friday. So she asks on Saturday, she's like, what's the next day? What's the next day? You're like, Emmy, you know the days of the week. But she just wants to hear it until we get to Friday. And she goes, dance day. So she loves it. And then they started up in our church group here. A couple of the ladies have a play group once a week. And there's like 4 women and their kids that for like 2.5 hours every Thursday, they kind of rotate houses where the kids get to play together and color and learn something. So it's like a preschool. The kids are like 2 and 3 years old. So Emmy's been loving that, and we're hosting this week. And by we, I mean Jesse, because some of us have to work. And some of us choose to work.
Come on now, you're hiding behind, like, some of us have to work. You're hiding behind that. You don't want any part of that whole Munchkin Rugrats running around. That's what it really is.
No, I don't. And Jesse knows that. We all know that. Give me a break. So that's been fun. And then the final thing for the week was I got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake.
Really?
That got released on Friday or Thursday this week.
Yeah.
Man, it was a freaking trip. It's a trip. Like, I haven't played that game since the N64 and I think the Dreamcast. I think I got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on the Dreamcast. And holy crap. It was so fun to revisit these just staples of my childhood. I played the mess out of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. So
those games never captured me back in the day. Like, I'd play them for a little bit, like, okay, do a couple of tricks, whatever. And then I was like, okay. And I just would put it down. So for me, like, I'm excited that something like that's coming back out and that people can either relive their childhood or get, new people get to experience it. But for me, I was like, I'm good holding on to my money on this one.
No, and that makes
just
sense.
Just because it's not my thing.
It was what, 1999. I was 11 years old. Like, I was in the heart of who they were targeting.
Yeah.
Like, people who were in junior high getting ready for high school. Like, it was cool, it was edgy, and I thought of myself as kind of punk rock. And I'd never skated, but I thought it was cool. So it was a great game. I had a lot of fun with my friends, couch co-op, that kind of stuff. So it was fun to go back and play it. So that was mostly the week. I played Fall Guys once or twice, just to kind of get a game in, because Emmy would yell at me to play Fall Guys. So we went in and played Fall Guys.
Nice.
And I love it. But that was the main events. You know, we're kind of in prep mode for our trip. A week from now, we'll be at Disney World.
Right. Yeah.
So we're in prep mode. Oh gosh, wait. I got one more thing, guys. This is a long update for me. Usually I don't have that much to say, but look, super friends, if you're a believer, send your prayers. If you're not, send your thoughts and good vibes my way, because I don't know if you recall, for those that have been around a while, last October or September, I broke my foot. And I'd been in a walking boot. And yesterday I was up on the ladder just trying to be responsible and like change light bulbs and unscrew things and add some new lighting. And I came down.
See where this is going already.
I didn't get this though. I didn't fall. I didn't feel like I did anything super dangerous, but all of a sudden that same foot in the same part in the same way just started burning with pain. And I got down and I was like, oh, come on. So I think I've in some way re-injured or tweaked that fracture. It was never broken. They call it a dancer's fracture because dancers get it a lot. And y'all know that's how I got it. Was
dancer's hip.
Gosh. So I'm in a boot right now just to be cautious. Worst case scenario, I wear a boot at Disney World. But that's the worst case. I
was thinking like worst case scenario is they have to like lop your leg off under your knee and give you like a wooden peg leg. That's, I think, worst case scenario.
That is quite literally the worst case scenario. But for my trip, I think worst case scenario is I gotta wear a walking boot. So it's not like a big deal, like game changer, can't go on my trip kind of a thing. It's just like, how much pain do I want to be in? Do I want to wear a boot and be in very little pain, or do I want to not wear a boot and be in a bit more pain? So anyway, that was my week, man.
If you lose your leg and you have to get a wooden peg leg, which, I mean, I know they've got like all these like carbon fiber filament, hybrid. No. Go old school, get a wooden peg leg. So it makes that real wooden knock sound when you're walking on, cobblestones.
Sure.
I think that's the way you got to go. And I think you just have to like lean into the pirate theme.
Well, I want to be, is his name Seamus from Family Guy, where his arms and his legs are peg legs and he talks like a literal pirate? I think that's kind of the direction I'll want to go. If they're going to lop off my leg, I'm like, well, take my other leg and my arms too, and just let me go full peg leg, and I'll walk around like a spider on my weird, creepy arm, leg, peg, wooden leg things.
You just kind of, get after Emmy, be like, "Arr, Emmy,
she can
come over here."
Walking down the hall, click, 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 click.
Right.
She's like, "Oh no! Oh my gosh!
Daddy's on the way!"
I'm in
click,
trouble.
click, click. Well, my week was nowhere near as interesting as refracturing a foot. Oh man, I have been playing Fall Guys. I'm still playing Fall Guys. I'm still streaming Fall Guys. I find it extremely entertaining and fun. I just want to get 5 wins in a row.
How many wins are you up to now?
Oh, like 67, 68 total wins. But I had a streak this last week. Super Friends. This was like ridiculous, right? So I had won 2 back to back. In the third one, we got all the way down to the final 4. And it was me and my buddy Tim Paulin and then 2 randos that we were going to be going up against. When you're at a 4, it's always, always, always royal fumble.
Uh-huh.
And the server disconnected. I was like, you got to be kidding. Because if one of us would have gotten the tail, the other one would have, like if I would have had the tail, Tim would have just blocked for me. I just would have ran and he would have helped me out and would have been calling out which sides, we would have, worked together. If he would have had it, I would have, held on to people for him a little bit to give him a chance to get in a good position so that I could go and take it from him to try to extend my streak further. So the server crashes. I felt like that was an easy win just waiting to happen. I've been feeling it like I was on a roll. Server crashes. Great. So now we got to play through the whole thing all over again to get to 3. And I get eliminated on like the second map. It's like a team game and we get eliminated. And then the following game after that, I got a win. I was like, so I could have had the 2 wins. If the server didn't disconnect, that could have been 3rd. And then I got another win. Like that could potentially have been 4 wins right there. Anyway, it was, this is tough. Like there's too many variables that are involved. It's just going to continue to be extremely tough. But I'm not giving up, Super Friends. Oh, no. I am not giving up.
Good for you.
So there's that. Let's see. I've been streaming. You can follow me, twitch.tv/FordofNerds79. The month of September on Twitch has been renamed September.
Ooh,
they do this every September. So if you sub someone on Twitch, basically you help support them financially. And you can do it a few different ways. One is if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link it to your Twitch. And once a month you can give your free subprime to someone. And that's like $5 and the streamer gets half that, like $2.50. But you can also put it on a credit card and then it'll just automatically renew every month for you. And you don't have to remember to go in and manually do it. But in September, Twitch does this thing where they say, hey, it's September. We're going to offer 30% off on your first month sub to any streamer. So I was like, okay, I'm going to lean into this a little bit. And I decided I'm going to do the Bean Boozled Challenge. So, if you're familiar with Bean Boozled, it's those jelly beans that have good flavors and nasty flavors that look identical. So, for instance, you may have to drink something like, or you may have to eat something like spoiled milk, or it could be cotton candy. It could be peach, or it could be barf. It could be blue raspberry or toothpaste. It could be strawberry something, or it could be dead fish. You just don't know which flavor you're going to get, and you get a little spinner, and you spit it, and then it tells you what color, and you go pick it. So all month long for the month of September on Twitch, if a super friend or anyone subs my channel, I'm going to give it a spin of the wheel, and I'm going to take one of those jelly beans. So this week, so far, I've had 3.
Nice.
I ate one that was toothpaste. And let me tell you, it's not just like a little toothpaste. That thing was like strong, minty. Like, it's like when you brush your teeth and like that mint like taste is still with you like 15 minutes later. You're like,
yuck.
Oh, it was that. And then the other 2 was buttered popcorn and peach. I barely escaped from like the dead fish and the barf flavors.
Oh.
So I got a little lucky, but that's what I'm doing.
Nice.
It's kind of fun. It's it's one of these things that I'm going to be doing live. Now, when we get to episode 200, I am not planning. I'm just stating this right here, Super Friends. When we go live on video for 200 for the recording, I'm not doing the Bean Boozled challenge during the podcast episode. That would be bad, because if I got something nasty, it would kind of derail the whole process. I'm just saying. Let's see. I went into the office twice this week, Matt. Back-to-back days, actually.
Oh.
Which was unusual, but I had a lot of stuff to do, so I had to kind of go in and just ended up kind of working out that way. And as an update for the Super Friends, because you're all dying to know, I watched some more of the Umbrella Academy Season 1. I've seen up through the end of the 7th episode now.
Oh, okay, you're getting there, man.
So, trying to work a little faster. This weekend I've watched some movies, and so I really haven't been watching any of that. It's just kind of, I watch the Umbrella Academy when it's not too late and I'm not streaming,
right,
and Brita's around because she's watching as well. So our time is more limited than in the past. Yeah, kind of one of those things. Other than that, man, not much. Kids in school, they're doing their thing. Tomorrow's the Labor Day holiday. And then after that, I think the kids are finally going to get their tablets or iPads assigned to them, so they can start doing more homework, I guess.
Okay.
But that's it, man. Cool. Like my week's just I feel like my week this week was a lot more just kind of like subdued. I was just a lot of busy stuff at work, whereas your week sounded like a lot more was going on.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a big week. That's true. And this week will also be a big week. Yikes.
Yes. All right. Matt, what do you say? Should we kill some Bothans and move right into the Rebel Intelligence?
These guys.
Ooh, just you're ready to slaughter.
Slaughter.
I always have to let you know, many Bothans died to bring us this information.
Rest in peace, you Bothans.
All right, Matt. We have slaftered all of the Bothans. What do you have for me this week?
All right. First thing this week is let's start out with some bad news about the old friend COVID. So there have been celebrities recently that have received the COVID treatment. Not literally a treatment, just the COVID bug. The Rock and his family, they all got the COVID, but they're all fine. Everything worked out. Everything's okay. But more interestingly, Robert Pattinson has received a positive test for coronavirus.
Wait. I thought Cedric Diggory was already dead.
He's long gone.
Sorry.
He's long gone. But Hermione found some way to bring him back and is truly in love with Cedric, and Ron is left in the cold by himself like he deserves. Anyway, I don't like Ron.
I love that in your future of the Harry Potter series, Hermione has left Ron for the reanimated corpse of Cedric Diggory.
Yeah. That it's not my future. That is what happens. I don't understand why you're acting surprised by this.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just totally forgot.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so Robert Pattinson got the old COVID after they'd all gotten back and were ready to start shooting Batman again. It was like 3 days into production, and he got a positive test. So now everybody's got a quarantine. I would assume that they'll be shooting again in 14 days. I also would assume Robert Pattinson probably wasn't exhibiting symptoms and very well may not. I don't know. So hopefully it's a short turnaround, a quick recovery. He gets non-contagious and is ready to roll. So, but there is a halt again with Batman.
Yeah, that production, man, I tell you what, like, stop.
Be so hard, man. Matt Reeves has got not a lot going for him, except for a sick trailer.
That trailer did look good.
So anyway, let's hope
look good.
We can get this thing rolling. They have not changed any of the dates. It's still going to come out like October 1st of 2021. So let's hope that we can keep that train rolling and get some awesome movies next year.
Okay. I like that. I feel bad for Robert Pattinson. Hopefully everything goes well there, but not much else you can do.
Right.
Matt, last week we talked about the untimely, sad passing of Chadwick Boseman. And this week, I saw a news article that I thought was really interesting. So if you're a comic book reader, you're probably already familiar with Comixology. Comixology is the Amazon service that basically lets you buy digital versions of comic books, and or you can do like their unlimited whatever, and you can like read basically everything that's on their site for a certain amount. It's kind of like the whole Netflix model, right? Except for digital comic books.
Yeah.
Well, right now, they have basically made every Black Panther comic book free.
Wow. Nice.
And they didn't, what's interesting is like, they didn't say anything. They didn't like put out a press release. They weren't like, they didn't like go onto social media like, because of Chadwick Boseman's passing, this is what we're doing. They just kind of made it all free right now. I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if this is just like over this weekend or if it's going to go for a week or two. But if you're into comics and you have Comixology, or you're into comics and you even don't have Comixology, like go sign up because it's free. You can purchase, comics if you want, but they have some free stuff, or you can do their subscription service. But go and grab a whole bunch of Black Panther comics because they're basically all there. You can get stuff going all the way back to when the character Black Panther started to more of the modern character stories that are going on. I love this. I think this is a very fitting tribute to the actor and to his powerful role as King T'Challa. And I like that this company is just kind of quietly trying to do something in remembrance and honor of him without trying to make like a big deal about it.
Yeah. Yep. I like it too.
So,
it's nice. It's nice and like in a respectful, like we're not taking advantage of anything kind of a way.
Right, yeah, it's not like they're like jacking up the prices because they feel like, oh, hey, a lot of people are probably going to want to, get more Black Panther right now, so they're just kind of just kind of doing a good thing. So
yeah, very nice, very nice. I've got something here about Star Wars.
Okay.
So let's talk about John Boyega, who has not been quiet about Star Wars, the way he's been, the way he feels that he has been treated.
He's got a burr under his saddle.
Something's going on, and he feels a lot of things right now. And the way that he feels right now is in particular with his character, but he also mentions kind of some, non-white characters, but we'll fixate on his character. He feels that his character, Finn, was pushed to the side, made into kind of a side character, a B story, or even a C story, for this sequel trilogy. And
he's not wrong.
So I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna say, what do you think? And when do you think that happened? And why?
He's not. I don't think he's wrong.
Okay.
I definitely think his character, in The Last Jedi and then definitely in Rise of Skywalker, was pushed to the side.
Yeah.
And not as much screen time was given, not as much importance was given. And as to why it happened, that's hard to guess. So when Star Wars Episode 7, right, is going to come out, The Force Awakens, prior to that, all the media leading up to it, they had talked and they'd hinted about how the original trilogy was Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher. And that it was really about that trio. I don't know that that's how I would qualify that maybe and say like that trilogy was about that trio.
Right.
I think that trilogy was about Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, agreed.
That trilogy was about Luke Skywalker. It just happened to be that the Han Solo and the Princess Leia character played very important roles. Mm-hmm. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I think I think Princess Leia's character kind of got pushed to the side in those movies some.
Sure.
Like her role, her screen time in episode 4 is probably about on par with Harrison Ford, but nowhere near Mark Hamill's screen time and lines. Same thing I'd say in Empire Strikes Back, although I'd say Harrison Ford had more dialogue than her. But I mean, I don't know. It's because we got into these like stories where like Luke's off doing this stuff over here on Dagobah, and Han and Leia are out trying to outrun the Empire over here.
Yeah.
And then when you get to Return of the Jedi, I mean, she's kind of got the little thing there with the Ewoks, but then like other than that, like I feel like, you know, and the stuff, you know, trying to save Han from Jabba. But other than that, I kind of felt like her storyline in Return of the Jedi was nowhere near as strong as Luke's story and whatnot. So like, but over time, people kind of said like, well, it's kind of this trio.
Yeah.
It was kind of the trio in the originals. So we want that in the new sequel trilogy, in the sequels. And I feel like we had a very good blend of that in The Force Awakens episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you know, to an extent, kind of the Finn, Poe, and Rey.
Mm-hmm. But
then when we get into Last Jedi, it's all Rey. I mean, Finn at the end of not Empire, Force Awakens is injured. And then he's just kind of injured. And then he just kind of goes on this little side jaunt to a casino, which is a pointless story line because it goes nowhere and it does nothing and it doesn't move anything forward. And that's all he was really given to do in that film. And then he's barely given anything to do in Rise of Skywalker. And it's almost 2 whole movies between when his character and Rey's character actually share screen time. Even though the original trilogy, the trio broke up here and there, they all shared screen time in every film in one way or another. So they didn't do that in these other movies. I don't know, like, what I'm going to say, like, you know, whose fault that was.
Right.
Is it someone at Disney's fault, or is it the fact that, you know, we had a different director, Rian Johnson, for the second film, and Colin Trevorrow was writing a film, and then he got pulled off and replaced, and JJ came back, but JJ was just trying to do, like, spin and, you know, fix, you know, damage control from the middle movie there. And so, like, he's not wrong. John Boyega's character did get pushed aside. Here's my problem, though, with this, is that he's been saying this a lot. He's been really negative a lot about these movies. He has every right to be negative, but he just continues to be negative and continues to bring it up and is in the press about it, talking about it over and over and over again. And I think at some point that stops buying you love from the fans, love from the studios.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to make it harder for him to continue to have a career. So, not saying that I think he should not speak his truth, but I just think that sometimes you have to kind of be careful about some things and not, you know, you can speak your truth, but do you need to speak your truth over and over and over and over and over again just to say, hey, I was unhappy with what you did to my character?
Right.
Was he mistreated as an actor? If that had happened, by all means, scream that as loud as you want. Never stop. But like, if you're just saying like, I don't like what you did with my character, I don't like what you did with the story, and you're just over and over and over again, you just kind of look like you're an angry guy. And
I think he is in a way. I agree with you. He does have a point. Finn was easily the one that I was most excited about after watching The Force Awakens. I could not wait to see what he could become. And, they teased...
And it was squandered.
you tease a lot about his Force sensitivity and his ability to maybe be a Jedi as well and to train, and none of that comes to fruition. And I know that, I don't know. I don't know who to blame either. He is correct.
Yeah.
They effed it up. He could have had, and here's a curse. This is me being somebody who did like The Last Jedi, though I did not like the parts where he's off at the casino. But
Basically,
I feel like
the only parts he's in, yeah.
No, I disagree with that. I think he had perhaps the most important character arc at the end when he realizes who he is now and who he was before, when he makes that change from being afraid of joining anybody to willing to risk his life for the rebellion, and he goes to die. I feel like that was his character arc being realized into being a hero. And then the next movie comes along, and that movie, we know how we feel about that movie just in general, but for Finn in particular, name me one thing that's important that he does. I cannot think of a single thing. All he does is yell for the characters that are dying. Rey, Chewie, rah! That's it. He does nothing. He never gets to complete what he's going to tell Rey, so we never find anything out about him. It sucks. His character was so cool, and he got screwed, in my opinion, in particular in The Rise of Skywalker and in the middle of that film of The Last Jedi as well. His side mission with Rose is stupid. And not because it comes to nothing, but because a lot of weird stuff happened on that trip that was stupid. But anyway, I think he's got a point. I think he needs to shut up, but I think he's got a point. So
I mean, I feel bad saying that, but I just kind of look at it and say,
get over it, man.
It's
even though I'm not over it, you need to get over it.
You read the script. You knew what you signed up for. You read the script, and
yeah, it sucks, but
it sucks. You did what you did. I feel bad for a guy like this right now, because I just wonder and I worry if being negative that much about it, and we're talking about Lucasfilm and Disney and going this hard, is it like, are you going to work yourself into a position where no one's going to want to work with you, and Disney's going to say like, yeah, the guy was hard to work with.
Right.
He's difficult. He's going to trash your film that you just spend all this money on in the press endlessly. Like, he may work himself out. Yeah, he may work himself out of the industry.
Yeah, I agree.
So, speaking of Star Wars, Matt, let's talk about something that's better than the portrayal of Finn and the lackluster story. Let's talk about an amazing little story of The Mandalorian.
Oh, yes.
And the fact that season 2 is going to arrive on October 30th on Disney freaking Plus.
Yeah, baby. So excited.
A while ago, Jon Favreau said, he said second season's not going to be derailed by COVID-19 pandemic. Because I think they'd shot enough and they were already working on enough stuff. And he said, listen, we're going forward. Even though most of Hollywood has been just in complete shutdown mode, they have enough and they're ready, and they were being able to do post and all that. So October 30th is when we get The Mandalorian Season 2. So what does that mean? Well, we know Timothy Olyphant's slated to be in this series. We don't know what. We know Giancarlo Esposito as Moff Gideon is going to return. We know he's got the dark saber. We know that our favorite Mando and the client, as we call him sometimes, Baby Yoda, are still going to be out there. Like, there's so much that I feel like we're going to need to pick up on. I can't wait. Right in time for Halloween, and we're going to have some more Star Wars to talk about and look into.
Yeah, this is super exciting. I'm really interested to see if they kind of learned a little bit from some of the things that they didn't do as well in season 1. We liked all the episodes, but we also were kind of like, let's get to the main story. I'm interested to see. I think they have to, because they've introduced a lot of new lore, and especially if Ahsoka Tano is going to be in this as well. There's going to have to be some interesting weaving of the main plot.
Do you remember when Disney Plus was getting ready to drop? And we talked about on the podcast about how excited we were for The Mandalorian and how we said, like, The Mandalorian will be really good and there's going to be some other stuff. This should hold us over until some of the Marvel shows come around. And then with the whole pandemic, like, the Marvel shows aren't happening. Like, I just wanted to remind you, Matt, that eventually, like, right now we've got The Mandalorian season 1. We're going to get season 2. You know, they've got some other stuff that's going there, but eventually we're going to start getting Marvel shows, more Star Wars. Like, there's so many good things I just keep forgetting that Disney Plus is doing, but that's because everything feels like so dark and depressing right now because everything's on pause. Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. There's a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to. Obviously, High School Musical, the musical, the series, season 2. Come on.
Also, while you're going to talk about High School Musical, the musical, the series, the musical, the musical series, part 2, I want to get on my soapbox once again. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I'm not a crazy, like, nut job with this stuff, but I want to get back up on my soapbox again and say, this whole time, everything's been sitting on hold. That old clock over at Netflix is still ticking down to when Marvel can regain the ability to make shows on Daredevil, Jessica Jones, The Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders. I'm just saying, like...
Yeah, we'll see, man.
We could be getting closer to that expiring, and then maybe that's going to happen on Disney+. I don't know, Super Friends. I'm not trying to be prophetic and make some sort of prophecy, but I had a dream. No, I'm just teasing. Okay, go ahead.
Oh gosh, that's awesome! I'm excited for The Mandalorian.
That's the fanboy in me, Matt. I just want that stuff so bad.
I know. So the last bit of news that I have has to do with Nielsen ratings, and the Nielsen ratings. This is their first ever official Nielsen ratings for streaming. So they believe they've found a way and it's accurate and blah, 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 whatever mumbo jumbo they want to call it. But they put out their first week, and this is the week of August 3rd to August 9th.
Hey, Peter Christensen, next week, can you write in and explain what the blah, blah, blah mumbo jumbo really means? Because I'd actually like to know how they're technically doing things. And Matt seemed to kind of skim over that. So if you can help me out, Peter, that'd be great. Okay, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Yeah, Peter, go ahead and do that. I care a lot, so that's going to be
mumbo
important.
jumbo, blah blah blah.
However, the crap they're getting at it, I want you to guess what the number 1 is. This is August 3rd through 9th. No, not Netflix. Streaming, total streaming. What's the most streamed TV show or movie? I guess, but we'll stick with TV show.
August what through what now?
August 3rd through August 9th.
So like the first week of August?
Yep.
I'm going to guess maybe The Umbrella Academy, because I think that like released somewhere around there, the second season.
You are correct.
Ooh.
The Umbrella Academy is the number 1 show with 3.01 billion minutes viewed. So that's how they're breaking it down, is by minutes viewed. That's a lot of minutes viewed.
Can we get The Witcher back up in here?
Yeah, so The Witcher, this puts the Umbrella Academy behind Stranger Things Season 4 is the top streaming performing show ever.
You mean Season 3?
3, whatever.
I was like, wow, the 4th season is not even out yet? That's amazing! Or I call shenanigans.
And then it's The Witcher.
Okay.
Is in 2nd place, and now 3rd place is The Umbrella Academy.
Wow.
So those are the top streamed shows of all time since they started trying to figure things out.
Okay, yeah.
But they
know... the asterisk, yeah, okay.
So I'm just going to run you down the top 10 here. Number 2 is Shameless, a show I've never heard of, nor have I seen it.
I've heard of it.
With 1.13 billion minutes viewed, so that's a lot, but Umbrella Academy beat that 3x. Grey's Anatomy with 918 million.
That's Shonda Rhimes, man. She knows how to make TV that people want to watch.
Yeah, man. The Office at 897 million.
Wow, holding strong.
Yep. Criminal Minds, 697 million.
Okay.
NCIS, 524 million.
Yeah, that sounds probably about right. Yeah.
In the Dark, 418 million.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what. I haven't seen any of these shows except for The Office and The Umbrella Academy so far. All right.
Okay.
Next is a little bit of a surprise because this is old. Dexter.
Really?
Yeah, with 316 million minutes viewed. And then I told you we'd circle back. Supernatural.
Oh, good. Matt, look at that little Easter egg you planted and we came back to it.
315 minutes viewed by Matt Shaw, I think is what they wanted to say, because I've watched so much Supernatural.
Okay.
I don't know how many minutes viewed, if they're 45 minutes each, and I watched about 12 seasons. It's a lot of views.
Wow.
And then last is Parks and Rec, 304 million.
You know what I noticed was not on that list, and I'm gonna bring this up for humorous reasons, but also I feel very self-satisfied to say this. I didn't hear Friends on that list, people. I'm telling you, Friends is hot garbage. It's not that funny, and all you people that say it's so relevant still today, according to the Nielsen streaming people, they say no. They say no.
Now let me remind you that this is HBO Max. It's on now, which is struggling. And we didn't talk about this in Rebel Intelligence, but they are trying to develop a way to make an ad version because they are dying because no one gives a flying about their streaming service.
Which is what we said.
It's
That's
bad.
where shows go to die.
It's true.
And Friends is over there, right?
Friends is one of those shows that's going to die because HBO Max, man. All right, so those are your top 10. So maybe we'll have more of these as the weeks go on.
That's kind of interesting. I would really be excited to hear like when big things happen. Like, I want to know like when Tiger King dropped.
Right.
What would these numbers have been like? Because everyone everywhere was talking Tiger King. And the only reason I was thinking that because I think you even brought it up last week about Carol Baskin on the old Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. Wow. That's going to be
And so it's like, that's going to be nuts. I don't watch that show.
Nope.
But I'm going to check out the highlights to see how she
clips.
is. Yeah, exactly right. Let's go to the old YouTubes. So I'd be curious to see like going forward how these Nielsen streaming things, because when we have these big things, right? Like when The Witcher comes back out, when Stranger Things come back out, I want to know like how crazy does that get? Plus, Matt, it also may give us a little more insight into like when certain shows become big, like Stranger Things, like they're going to do, bonkers numbers, but for how long before those numbers take a precipitous drop off, or do they stay? You said Parks and Rec was at number 10. Parks and Rec has been off the air for how many years now?
Yeah.
And the fact that it's still doing good numbers. Supernatural, I think finished. I think they're done with their 15, 16
they're
seasons.
Still going.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, they're the equivalent to Nerds of the old Law and Order police, drama type of show. The police procedural. Anyway, I have one last thing, Matt. I feel like all of a sudden, like we're way rabbit trailing today.
Yeah.
No Time to Die. The final installment of the James Bond franchise featuring Daniel Craig just released a new trailer, and I don't know anything about the story, but just watching the trailer, I go, okay. It looks good. It looks like Bond. This is Daniel Craig looking a little older, period. But it also looks like they're showing Bond maybe be a little more, less like superhuman than before. Cause like they show him getting like beat up pretty hard and like really kind of in a bad way where like some of the other ones, maybe showed that a little less. But it looks good. It looks just a lot of action. They're saying it's supposed to be out in November. Because if you recall, it was supposed to release earlier this year. I want to say like April, maybe somewhere around there. Anyway, I I love a good James Bond movie. And I have loved Daniel Craig as James Bond. But I definitely feel like after this one, I think they're going to probably lay off for a little bit and recast and then go again. Because I kind of get the sense that the trailer made me feel like they're trying to put some hints of finality into Daniel Craig's version of Bond.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm reading into it a little bit too much, but it looks good. I want to see it. I probably won't go to a theater to see it though anytime soon.
Well, it's not coming out anytime super soon. So maybe by then.
Maybe.
Knows?
Or maybe it'll be available for $20 on your favorite streaming service.
Oh, let's hope so, because that's the only
video
way I
on
go
demand
see
service.
Bond. Actually, I probably want to look. It's when movies like this come out when I say I'm a simple man. James Bond movies confuse the living crap out of me. I never know what's happening. I don't understand how there's so many endings and multiple bad guys and casino royales and quantums of solace and that stuff. I can't get
I love how you're
story.
just now like naming the names of the most recent movies.
Look, I can't wrap my head around those movies. You might as well be showing me Jason Bourne movies confuse me. Anything by Christopher Nolan other than Batman, I'm out. And then any James Bond movie, like you put it in front of me and I'll go, wow, cool car jump. I don't know what the heck is happening, but that was a good jump. I can't quite get Mission Impossible is where I live. Like that one, it's like simple, straightforward. Like this is the bad guy and this is the mission. Okay, I can get that. James Bond on my own.
Until they start ripping masks off.
That
and
one
the bad
sucks.
guy's
No,
not
that's
the
the
bad
bad
guy.
one. That's the bad one. Mission Impossible 2 is the worst movie ever made by Tom Cruise. I'll say it. It's the worst Tom Cruise movie.
That's the worst
I'm
Tom
aware
Cruise
of.
movie? Ooh.
I can't think of a worse one.
There's a few.
I'm sure there are, but I can't think of any off the top of my head where I'm like, that was a bad Tom Cruise movie.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Anyway, that's
we'll
it.
talk later. Okay, good. That was the last thing I had.
Yeah,
if
man.
you didn't have anything, we'll move on. So, Matt, last week we talked about Chadwick Boseman's passing.
Yes.
And we brought up the hard question about whether or not Disney Marvel should recast the role or if they should just retire the role and say, no one's going to do it like Chadwick. Let's honor him. Let's leave this here,
Yeah.
Because obviously you and I kind of, I think, agreed like that would be nice, but they're a business that, chance they're going to go on. But we asked the Super Friends what they think should happen because I think this is kind of an up in the air question, a lot of different ways to look at it.
Right.
So we got some answers. So we're going to go start over on email like we always do over fortivenerd@gmail.com. And we have Peter Christensen, which, by the way, I messaged Peter Christensen today because we're recording a day earlier. Just said, hey, just a heads up. You haven't missed a question of the week in a long time. And we're recording a day early. So just FYI.
Yeah.
And I got an email.
Oh, he came through.
He came through. Which, by the way, I started scrolling back. And I was back in like episode 60. And then I just didn't have emails going back further past that. So I was like, either that's when I introduced the email, which I don't think so. I think I had it before then. Or for some reason, I just was deleting emails at that point.
Yeah.
So it says, Dear Nerds, congrats on the future move to Twitch. It was inevitable. Perhaps this is what gets me to Twitch for the first time. I hope so, Peter.
Yeah, Peter,
I hope that
please
you'll
join us.
That you'll join us live for
Also,
episode 200.
me to Twitch for the first time or second time. I don't really understand Twitch, so this is going to be new for me too.
There you go.
We're all going to learn together, okay? And those experienced super friends, don't make fun of us that are not experienced, okay? This is a safe space.
Me?
This is a safe space, okay? Thank you.
Anyway, moving on. Says, my 12-year-old loves Halloween. She has been asking for months when Spirit Halloween is opening.
Yes.
And we made her day yesterday by making our first visit of the year. She is dressing as the girl from the cover of the Green Day album Kerplunk, and she's been planning this costume since last year's Halloween. She knows no one's going to recognize it, but she's excited nonetheless. I had the same shocked reaction to Chadwick Boseman's death. My oldest daughter was looking at Instagram, and her friends said that Black Panther had died. It was such a ridiculous thing to say, but sadly, Google verified it, and it was true. King T'Challa was gone. He played iconic black heroes, including the greatest black superhero, the Black Panther, Jackie Robinson, and Thurgood Marshall. I'm sad to see him go, but the outpouring from my black friends has been crushing, especially the pictures of young black boys posing their Marvel action figures in pretend funerals honoring the Black Panther. He was not only a hero for Black America, but for the Africans around the world. Chadwick Boseman played a hero celebrated worldwide in the biggest movies in history. I agree that he is irreplaceable as T'Challa, and I hope to see Princess Shuri become the new Queen of Wakanda. I have no doubt that Wakanda and its rulers will remain an important part of the MCU, and I trust that Ryan Coogler, Kevin Feige, and the MCU team to handle this passing graciously and respectfully in film. This quote from Chadwick has come completely true much earlier than expected. He left nothing in the tank. And here's his quote. He says, "When I stand before God at the end of my life, I would hope that I would not have a single bit of talent left and could say I used everything you gave me." Wakanda forever. Cheers, Peter Christensen.
Nice. Thanks, Peter. Well said.
And he did include, and I have seen these, he did include the pictures of the little boys that have been, staging like little funerals for their Black Panther figures and whatnot. And I saw those last week, and I gotta say, like, it's those were kind of heartbreaking, man, to look at. Yes, sad. But at least, the kids kind of understand that. So
yeah.
Let's go over to Facebook. Facebook.com/Fort of Nerd. We got a few answers over here. Paul Calicote says, "Man, this is a rough one. So they could totally recast for Black Panther 2. They did it with Rhodey and Bruce, so it would be fine, I think. Or do a CGI Black Panther suit getting blasted apart by a new mega villain and pass the torch to Shuri."
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I would hate to see it, I think they could recast. I mean, they did recast Rhodey. They did recast Bruce Banner. So, anyway, moving on. Christina Magleby says they should pass the Black Panther to his sister.
Yep.
And then Jen Bruton agrees. She says, yes, that is what happened in the comics. That is perfect. Still over here on Facebook, Daniel Walker says, retire. Enough character in all the stories to pass it on to Shuri and move on. And then Steve Ewing says, how many actors have played James Bond? How many Batmans have there been? Peter Parker and Spider-Man? It's a role. Cast an actor to play it. I mean, that's true. I mean, how many different versions of Batman have we seen recently? And how many different versions of Spider-Man have we seen recently? So definitely, hearing it from both sides.
It's possible. I highly doubt that will happen, but it's possible.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Going over to Twitter @Fort of Nerd, Bernabe Butters @Dantes_Belmont says, pass the mantle to Shuri.
Yep.
And he's got a little gif of the actress saying Wakanda forever. 846 I Can't Breathe @DSpin67 says, recast. There is more to T'Challa's story than what we have seen. How they recast and continue the story, I don't know. That story, those characters are too important. And see, and that's like, it's one of these things where like I can kind of see like all sides, right? Like, do I feel they should recast? I kind of feel like maybe no. but they could recast because there's lots of stories, but they could pass the mantle on to Shuri, and she could tell those stories because you could now have a queen of Wakanda showing about how important it is still to have the Black Panther and to have a symbol of hope for the people of Wakanda and for the world. But it doesn't have to be a man. It can be a woman. Like there's a lot of really good stories that they could do. They could recast T'Challa. I mean, it's just, whew. I tell you what. I know Black Panther 2 is in early pre-production, but they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure it out.
Yeah, it's an intense room right now.
Yeah, that's not a position I'd like to find myself. Anyway, those were the answers we got for the Super Friends. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer a tough question and try to put yourself in their shoes, because I just don't know. It could go so many different ways. Anyway, Thank you. Matt, how can the Super Friends give us a hand this week? What can they do for us?
Yeah, well, first, thanks as always for participating on a shorter turnaround than normal with our question of the week. So thank you very much. We always appreciate your comments. We look forward to episode 200, where hopefully we get some questions from y'all as well. So remember to send in questions that you have for us, about us, to us, and we will answer those questions live and in person for episode 200 in about 2 weeks. We're real excited about that. So this week, what you can do for us, in addition to what you always do, listening, telling your friends and family, is to send in those questions. Anything at all. You could ask us what our favorite taco is. You could ask us about our favorite superhero. You could ask us about whatever you heckin' fetchin' want. And we are happy to answer those questions. So, thanks again for what y'all do. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling friends. And we look forward to you seeing us, because we can't see you, in 2 weeks.
Right. All right, Matt, something else big happened this week.
Yeah,
but we wanted to save this for our discussion. How about you kick us off and tell us what was the big thing that happened?
So Nintendo's been sleeping on us, man.
Yeah.
The Switch has been selling like crazy, but in my opinion, as a Switch owner, it's been dying. I haven't picked it up in forever, other than to play Animal Crossing. And
when
until
was the last time you did
change, well, with September, I usually play at the beginning of every month to kind of see what's new, catch new bugs and fish and kind of the seasonal items. But until fall hits and there's like Halloween events and stuff, I'm probably not going to play again. Gotcha. But that's really all that they really have going for them right now. And but they did kind of a surprise this week. It was a shadow drop, as they say. Of a Nintendo Direct.
Sneaky ninja shadow drop.
Not a full Nintendo Direct. Still, that's been over a year since they've actually had a Nintendo Direct. This was a Mario-centric, we'll call it, Direct, celebrating the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
So in this Direct, they showed a whole slew of new things, all celebrating Mario. They showed kind of like Tetris 99. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with that, where you compete with 99 people in Tetris and you try to be, it's like a battle royale for Tetris. They've got a new version of that for Super Mario Brothers, which looks kind of fun, where you play, there's 35 people that play at once, and you're trying to get the high score in whatever the category is, and you're playing Mario Brothers. So that's pretty fun. And then they have this other cool thing that they announced where it's like a Mario Kart game, but in real life. Like you have a Mario Kart RC car and you control it and you look at your screen like you're playing the Switch, but it's in real life and you're controlling this RC car and you create tracks in your house and you can compete against yourself and some CPUs with item boxes and all that same stuff like you would in Mario Kart, but it's in your house. And then you can add up to 4 carts as well. So you could buy Mario, and then you could buy Luigi, and you and your kids or your wife or whatever could play together. And it looked really fun. I'm not going to lie. That looked really fun. And our house is perfect for it. And then they announced some other stuff, and it was okay. But the big announcement was the Mario 3D All-Stars collection.
Oh, yes.
Which includes Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy.
3 wonderful games.
And this has kind of been rumored. We've been hoping that this was going to come.
Yeah, there was some like leaks, maybe rumors about this a few months back. Yeah.
But it's nice to know it's coming, and know that it's coming on September 18th, y'all. Like really soon.
Real quick.
And it's limited time. You have until March, which is weird. But
that is weird, right?
But that's just what they're doing. They're pulling a Disney vault.
Like, yeah. You can go buy this in stores. It's going to be everywhere from September 18th to March 31st, and then they're going to stop selling it.
Right.
Same thing on their digital stores
eShop
as well.
too. So you can't just, hope that the eShop will still have it, because they won't, apparently. Maybe they'll open it up like Disney did in a year, and they'll be like, okay, this month.
Yeah.
So anyway,
maybe.
But the good news is it doesn't really matter, because I'm going to buy it, so I don't really care how long it's available for.
Right.
So basically, you get 3 full Mario 3D games for $60. Now, my initial reaction to this was a little bit of disappointment, because I felt like I knew this collection was coming, and Mario 64 did not get the treatment that I wanted it to get. In that, to me, it looks like a direct port from what they had on the Virtual Console for like the Wii and the Wii U.
Okay.
And I was expecting a remaster. I was expecting the Resident Evil 2 to the Resident Evil 2, or Resident Evil 3 to Resident Evil 3, or Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 to Tony Hawk Pro Skater that we just got. And I didn't get that. Now, Mario Sunshine looks beautiful. It looks amazing. It's going to be so fun to play that in HD with all of the beautiful colors. And it got the widescreen treatment that Mario 64 did not get. Galaxy is just a beautiful game. Even if you pick it up on the Wii, it's still just a beautiful game. So my initial reaction was those 2 games look amazing. I was a little disappointed in Mario 64, but it's still Mario 64. And it's a day one
purchase for me.
Oh, yeah, easy. And you can play it wherever you want, as often as you want, and you can just pick up and go, man. So, just fun news. News for those of us that love Mario. So we thought tonight for our discussion, we would talk a little Mario.
We'll talk about those Italian plumber boys.
Let's talk about those guys.
So, Matt, what was your first experience with Mario?
So, here's the deal. I'll say this. My first experience with Mario was Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Which to me just might be the greatest Mario game. Overall, I'm not positively sold on that, but I will say that is certainly for me the greatest 2D Mario game ever made. For me, nothing really comes close. Now, I did play, like when I was really, really little, we had an NES. And my parents would stay up late to play Super Mario Brothers. And every once in a while, they would let me play it. But my true, real, remembering playing the game and getting excited about it was Super Mario World. I just thought that game was the shiz. Because and Mario's always had this, dating back to the beginning, but there's the secrets. Right? The secret paths that you could take in Super Mario World, where there were 2 exits to a course, and you could go to the lake or you could go up on the shore. And it was like, well, I don't know, got to find the secret entrance. And then there's the Star World, and there's all of these awesome, fun, extras that you could do and Easter eggs that you could find and details. So for me, my first exposure really to playing Mario myself was on the Super Nintendo. How about you?
So my first exposure to Mario probably is playing Donkey Kong on the Atari 2600 when he was Jumpman. But I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because that was just like you were playing Donkey Kong, like
Right.
Yes, it's Mario, but it's not like what we think of Mario. The year was like 1988. I had played Nintendo at a couple friends' houses in Michigan before we had moved, but we always played like Donkey Kong or on like Atari 2600 and stuff like that. So when we played Nintendo, it was always like Excite Bike or Paperboy or whatever, because the kid that had it had already played Mario to death and he didn't really care about it.
Okay.
So we moved to Illinois and somehow I got a paper route. I was way too young, but I took over a paper route for someone in our neighborhood and took over the papers, and I delivered papers all summer long, saving up money to buy the Nintendo Entertainment System. My parents said, "Hey, we can't afford to buy this for you. You're going to have to save up your own money." And so I worked my tail off all summer long, delivering papers, collecting the fees, rolling papers up, putting rubber bands on them, everything, running or riding my bike up and down that street every day. And I saved up enough money by the end of the summer to buy it. The only problem was they were sold out everywhere. Man, like you couldn't find them. And I was really kind of sad. I was like, "Mom, they don't have them anywhere. Like they're all sold out." My mom said, "Come with me. We're going to go to Walmart." And so we went to Walmart and we kind of like walked past where the Nintendos were. And I was like, "Look, Mom, they don't have one." She's like, just follow me. Just follow me. Okay. So we walked, and then we walked into this little room in the back of the Walmart that I'd never seen before. And we walked up to the little counter and there was a man there. And my mom said, "I have something on layaway." And she gave her name. And I didn't have any idea what layaway was. No clue. My mom and dad had understood how important the Nintendo was. They'd came and they'd put like $5 or $10 down on it on layaway and then come back and put like maybe like $5 every month. Oh man,
that's awesome.
Just to make sure they kept making the payment on it. And so I came in and I paid the remainder of the balance, and then I paid my mom the difference that they'd put for layaway, and we walked out with it. There was no games except Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. It was the original Nintendo. It came with the zapper, came with the 2 controllers. It came with Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. And so my first experience with Super Mario Brothers was the original NES, playing the original Super Mario Brothers with me and my brother Josh and my mom and my dad. And it was something that I had earned. I think it's probably the first thing I've ever bought on my own.
Right.
I'd worked, I'd got a job, I'd saved up money. And like now, like here I am, a 41-year-old man-child. And if I want to get a new console, I've got a good paying job. I can get a new console. I can go get a $60 game.
Right.
But at the time, this thing was $100.
Sure.
And I'm like 9 years old.
Yeah.
Like I'd earned $100 over the course of a whole summer. It was my first purchase I'd ever made, and it was a video game system. And like looking back, it's like, yeah, okay. I mean, that kind of tracks with me. That makes sense. But that was it. It was playing, Mario Brothers and trying to figure out how to get past each level, and the water levels are the absolute worst.
Suck it. I hate those freaking
Just the
levels.
absolute worst. But the music from that original game, man, just burned into my brain. Like I can hear it and just bada boom, bada bing. Like it just takes me back. So that was my first experience, my first exposure to Mario Brothers, to Mario of any kind. Those 2 Mario plumbers. So that was the first exposure. My question now to you though, Matt, is what is your favorite Mario game? And by Mario game, I mean like Mario platform.
Yeah, like mainline.
Yeah,
this
game
is about Mario rescuing Princess Peach or Daisy, depending on
Daisy
which
or whatever, right?
you're looking at.
Yeah.
Now, I have been thinking about this all day because there are some just incredible Mario games, and you have to. I try to take nostalgia out of the picture, right? Because I already made a claim about Super Mario World being the best game.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not sure that it's not, but I think the greatest Mario game is Super Mario 64.
Ooh.
I think that and I say that, saying taking nostalgia out of it, it's hard not to have nostalgia play a part in your opinion. Because there have
But
been
I'm
some
asking what
incredible
your
games.
opinion, in your opinion, what's your favorite?
It's Mario 64. There's so many memories tied to Mario 64. Look, I had been playing Super Mario World and then jumping to Mario 64 like everybody else at the time. It was like mind-blowing. Like we'd never seen anything like this. We'd never seen a platformer in 3D in this way. Wait, I can go left, right, up, down, diagonal, triple jump, side jump. Like I can explore this open world at the beginning. And then I go into like this hub. I mean, how brilliant they came up with the hub where you can jump into paintings that take you to new worlds.
Right, yeah.
And you have multiple objectives within the same level. Like just just from a design perspective and creativity, this is Nintendo at their peak. Like how do you come up with this stuff? And you engineer something so impressive that it blew my mind. And I remember getting and buying Nintendo Power magazine because this is the way we got information at the time. There was no internet. There was no whatever. You get Nintendo Power.
Gosh,
and I'm flipping through the pages and you get to, in the first world, Bob-omb Battlefield, I think is what it's called. And you got to race the Koopa. And I remember looking in that and they had the records for the timed records of beating that large Koopa to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And me and my friends staying up all night trying to figure out the fastest route to try and beat that record or to try and get as close as we could to that record. And, kind of weighing the morality of using the shortcut through the flowers, whether or not that was okay. And it just... that game will for always hold a special place in my heart because that was
also like back in the era still where like Nintendo Power would like encourage you to like take a picture if you got like a high score and you beat like a published high score or a timed event and then submit like a Polaroid or something to Nintendo Power and then they, and they would verify it and then they would post it in their magazine.
And they had in the magazine, they had the tear out that you could do that had like the information on it, like send it here.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, before the internet, that's community. That's how you built community. And Nintendo Power was so exciting. Each iteration and edition that came out. So there's just so much tied to it. I still think the inventiveness of it is incredible, out of this world. Like the endless staircase before you get enough stars to get up to Bowser. It never ends. You can't ever reach Bowser until you want to. It's just like, how do you come up with this? The different areas in the basement and the second story and advancement and how they changed gaming with that game. To me, it's like it is the best Mario game. In my opinion, I just can't get over it. I could talk about Mario 64 all night. I love that game. I can't wait to play it on the go.
It'll be so good. That's not a bad entry. It's not my favorite though. I was looking and like, man, it's hard. Like, so Super Mario Sunshine, I found to be a very exciting, fun game because they added some new things.
Yeah, man.
And the whole like water mechanic I thought was really good. Super Mario Odyssey with the whole Cappy, like once again, like it was something that added a different element into it that made it really exciting and made all these different opportunities, and that was really fun. But my favorite, I'm going all the way back to Super Mario Brothers 3 on the NES.
Okay. Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers 3. So the way Super Mario Brothers looked was like, you look at it now and you just go, ooh, like that. But for the time, like at the time, that was amazing. That was groundbreaking. Super Mario 2 was a complete change. It was a completely different game.
I hate that game.
It was a completely different game that they ended up reskinning to make Mario 2 because of the success of Super Mario Brothers. They needed something to come out. It was Doki Doki whatever. I actually really like Super Mario 2 just because it was completely different and unique, and the whole, the story was just ridiculous, but I loved it. But Super Mario 3, when that released, it added and changed Mario and the Mario platformer in ways that would be completely different. So you had the overland map, the overworld map.
Yep.
And you could choose some different routes. You didn't always have to go the same route. It introduced things like the warp whistles you could find in these hidden areas. And so you could skip through some levels, even though they'd kind of done that in some of the earlier Marios. But like, this was different. They gave you a menu system where you could hold items and you could actually choose when you wanted to use certain items, which was different. And then, of course, even though we were still on 8-bit graphics, they had found a way to like really get the most out of the 8-bit graphics and make things look really good. And the level design the artwork was so good for back then that like you still look at Mario Brothers 3 now and you go, this feels like a retro game, but it doesn't feel old, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I played that game for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end. It to me is a perfect Mario platformer. There's been a lot of other great ones that have introduced things like, the hub world, like you said, with 64, 3D, different utility things that Mario could use. But for me, Super Mario Brothers 3, that was the moment that Mario really, I think, really changed into what Mario as a platformer could jump off and become all the other things. If that game hadn't happened in the way and introduced things like all the different suits and the ability to fly, and I think we wouldn't be. I don't think we'd be celebrating 35 years of Mario the same way.
Yeah, man. Super Mario Brothers 3 is an excellent game. Behind, I mean, to me, it's the best 2D platformer behind Super Mario World, for me. The P-Wing, the ability to be little Tanuki Mario for the first time, such a cute little raccoon boy.
Yep.
The controls were tighter.
Yeah,
right?
A lot.
The textures were smoothed out. Like it looked better. It still felt like Mario, but it does have a super distinct look about it.
Yeah.
And how you beat the level at the end when you kind of jump into the spinning box and you try and get them to be the right ones and you line them up and you go to the houses and you try and get the extra life and you jump up like you're gambling and there's so many elements added that are a lot of fun. So I get that. That's a great game. For sure. That's a great game.
I can't wait to get my boys to play that.
And it's on, I just beat that game recently.
I think it's on their online service.
Okay, that's why. I just beat that game.
I also have it on the NES Mini Classic.
Okay. Well, I beat it somewhere.
Right.
And that game's fun. And in Mario Maker 2, you can make as many cool looking Mario 3 worlds as you want. Mario 3 is anyway. Excellent choice.
So the last question then, what's your favorite Mario adjacent game? So not a Mario platformer, but it could be things that are like Dr. Mario or the Mario Kart series or Mario parties or tennis or whatever, Sonic and Mario, Olympic,
right.
Anything that has Mario in it is Mario adjacent, but not necessarily like a main Mario platform type of game.
Yeah, this was hard because I wanted to be specific about it. I didn't want to just choose a franchise. I wanted to choose a game. And that made it really, really difficult because there are some really, really good and really, really fun Mario games. Mm-hmm. And you can, it cannot be overstated how good some of the sports Mario games are. They can be a lot of fun, y'all. Like a lot. But I'll tell you, it's going to be in the Mario Kart series for sure. And this one has been weighing on my mind. And as I'm talking to you, I'm making the decision because I don't know.
Close, huh?
It's that close to me because, again, nostalgia has to play a part. I don't know how to separate it. And here's what I'll say. Okay, we're going with the best game. I'll say the game that I had the most fun playing, perhaps in my entire life with other people, is Mario 64. I don't know that I've ever had that much fun playing a video game in my life. However, I think the greatest Mario adjacent game is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe / Mario Kart 8. I think that's for me, it's definitely the greatest Mario Kart game, and it edges out the other like Mario Parties, Mario Tennises, because of the skill and the precision and the fun and the chaos it brings, that there's a healthy balance of all of those things to make it so it can be both competitive and fun and skill-based, if that makes sense. It has a good balance. I think some of the ones like Mario Party can sometimes be frustrating because it's a crapshoot on a lot of who earns what stars and how close you get. And the mini games can be frustrating to say the least. Right. And I don't know that there's ever been a perfect Mario Party game because some of those mini games just suck. So I'm going to say the best one is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but the most fun I've ever had and the most mastery I've ever put into a Mario Kart game is Mario Kart 64.
Wow. Mario Kart 8's, yeah.
It's just polished. It's just a polished kart experience.
I don't think you're wrong. That's hard because I thought about this too. And, it's like, okay, there's lots of different things. I thought about being really funny here with you and being like, I'm choosing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out because Mario is the umpire, the referee. I thought about doing something because like Mario has like shown up in so many Nintendo games and Nintendo titles, and like, it could be this, it could be like he's shown up in like things like SSX on Tour and NBA Street Volume 3.
Right.
I kind of like look through a list of like all the games that Mario's in, and like obviously the Donkey Kong stuff. And I kind of like, okay, I'm like, do I really want to, do I want to get like that nitpicky? And so for me, I started looking down the list and thinking like, okay, what was the things? And for me, it's also a Mario Kart game. Okay. But the nostalgia thing, though, for me is the problem. Because for me, it's Double Dash.
Oh. It
was the Mario Kart game that was on the GameCube.
Yep.
And I've told this story before about how when my dad died, we all played it. And,
yes.
But honestly, though, what I think the reason I did like that is because it did add some different battle modes. The Shine Sprite, the Shine Thief mode being like the one, obviously, that we played the mess out of. But also it was different because on the Mario Karts, instead of just being a single driver, if like you were Mario, you had like a little like baby version of Mario that was like on the back of the cart, and like he would like help throw stuff for you and help defend. And like I just remember that being a lot of fun and different because like you almost felt like you were a tag team playing against all these other tag teams instead of just individual racers. So like that's kind of where my heart goes, is Mario Kart Double Dash. I think you could pretty much, Mario Kart 8. You could pretty much pick anything in like the Mario Kart series, because I think outside of the platformers, that's the next best thing that they've done with Mario. There's sports games and there's, the Mario parties, and I'm like, the Mario parties don't really do much for me. But the racing games, the Mario Kart series, is real good. But one other like honorable mention I'll name, if I step away from Mario Kart, because you picked a Mario Kart, yes. Double Dash is mine. But if I have to pick something that's different than like a Mario Kart game, Smash Brothers.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Smash.
That's exactly right. Smash Brothers.
Oh, wow.
I don't play it a ton, But I do love playing that, and you can be as Mario, Luigi, you can be Princess Peach, you can be Toad, you like Yoshi, like all like the big hitters, but then it also brings in like, Metroid and Zelda, I think that Smash is a fun way to like have like a competition, a fighting style game, but still with Mario and all the Mario adjacent characters and Nintendo characters. But it's not your Mortal Kombats of the world. It's not your, the emphasis isn't on like the blood and gore, let's destroy, but it's just, knock the other guy off, beat him up enough that he can't respond, and then you can knock him off the platform and he's done.
Uh-huh.
And so if I'm not going to say Double Dash, I'm going to go with Smash Brothers.
That's a great one. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate on the Switch is the greatest crossover in the history of video games. I can't think of anything that could even come close, because it was fun when they started going, well, Nintendo's great, but what about Metal Gear Solid? Wait, right. What about? And they start getting
Final
other franchises.
Fantasy, and you're like, what the heck?
Other franchises to play, and it was like, oh, freak, this is sick.
So
awesome.
that's that's where I'll go. So it's Double Dash, but you picked a Mario Kart, so I'm gonna go with Smash Brothers.
Fair enough.
That's where we're gonna bounce out. But Super Friends, big 35-year anniversary. I mean, I was 6 years old when Mario really, had his coming out party with Super Mario Brothers. Mario's been an integral part of my life in different ways, on and off, for a long time now, which I'm sure that's the case with most of you that are listening to this podcast. Yeah. So we want to hear from you, Super Friends. You can tell us your first Mario experience. You can tell us your favorite Mario game or your favorite Mario adjacent game. It doesn't matter. You can pick one. You can pick all three. Let us know next week. We'll read those answers. We'll talk about that. But favorite Mario experience, favorite Mario game, favorite Mario adjacent game, one, all three. It doesn't matter. As long as it's about Mario. You can even bring in that Mike Tyson's Punch-Out noise and say that was your favorite and he was the ref, and I'm going to let that slide because I thought that was kind of a funny thing. Anyway. Matt, like you said, 200's coming up.
Yes.
We got like 2 more weeks. We're going to be doing this live. You can tune in twitch.tv/FortofNerds79 and you can actually watch this. I don't want to give a time right now because we will be tweeting it out and putting it on the socials, but my guess is around probably 7:30ish Mountain Time, which is 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, or 6:30 Pacific. If you're in the United States, that's probably roughly the time frame we will be looking at to record episode 200. And then as we go forward, we're going to continue doing this live on video. We'll probably stick somewhere in that vicinity, but it may fluctuate a little bit here and there just based on Matt and I's schedules. And occasionally we may have to do like we did tonight and record on a Sunday.
Yep. But
we still need those questions from you. Like Matt said in his little bit about how you can help us out. We need those questions, so email them, tweet them to us, put them on the Discord. I got the Discord link in the show notes now, so you can go and join that and get part of the conversation kicking off over there. Matt, it's been a lot of fun. I'm really, really looking forward to 200. We got a good week coming up next week. You're also going to be doing the Disney World stuff. We got a lot going on. But once again, it's always a pleasure to be here with you each and every week.
Same, man. Same. Can't wait.
All right, Super Friends. From all of us here at the Fortress of Nerditude to all of you out there, wherever you may be, may the Force be with you. Always.